What's that? More Yoshi? More Yoshi. Fair enough. As if you didn't see this one coming, it's Yoshi for Game Boy. Because if you have a first-party Nintendo puzzle game on Nintendo, then it's also gotta be on Game Boy because let's face it, by this point, that's probably the hotter thing. Anyway, for those unfamiliar with Yoshi, he is a green dinosaur thing. But also, it's a variation of the falling block puzzler where blocks with Mario critters fall from above, and rather than move these around, you're actually swapping around the 4 columns for the critters to land on and form stacks. If 2 of the same critters touch each other on the same stack, they clear away from the well, but side by side on different stacks, no clears. So only vertical clears between 2 like critters count in this Yoshi puzzle game. Now in addition to dealing with falling critters, you have Yoshi eggshells that will drop in from time to time. There are bottom shells and top shells. The idea is to lay down a bottom shell and then land a top shell on top to close the egg, and a Yoshi will appear for food processing. Forget that last part. The idea is you toss in a bunch of critters in between the 2 shells so that when you form an egg, you'll get a bigger Yoshi depending on how many critters you cram into that egg. Obviously, you want to try to get for the biggest stack possible to get the biggest Yoshi possible, which really equates to bonus points and an egg added to your egg counter, and that's about it really. There are 2 game modes, 3 if you want to include the 2-player mode via Game Link. You have A mode, which is your endless run where you keep playing until one of the top tiles can't get into the well and it's game over. And you have B mode, where the goal is to clear the well of critters to advance over to the next level, and in between rounds, much like the NES version, you'll see Mario riding Yoshi and forcing him to eat stuff, but now it's on Game Boy and the sprites are much bigger. Yoshi is a twist on the puzzler format in which you have only limited control over the falling blocks, mostly pushing them with bigger stacks to a certain degree, but that's about the extent of it. It's fairly easy to understand and naturally gets more challenging as you progress onto higher levels. Controls well enough, concepts uniquely interesting, and it makes for an enjoyable enough game. The transition from NES to Game Boy didn't impact the overall graphical quality of Yoshi. Obviously, there's less on-screen real estate and a lack of color, but the play area takes up most of the screen, and the various elements haven't seen that much of a loss in quality. The intermissions that pop up in between levels in B mode are obviously much simpler, but you do have a much bigger Mario and Yoshi sprite pop up. And of course the game gives you a selection of 3 rather pleasant sounding background tunes that almost sound like they could fit in with some other Game Freak property that will make them oogles and boogles of money, even more so on the hardware that franchise will eventually first grace. And once again, the sound effects are kinda underwhelming, but again, whatever. Overall, Yoshi is a fun little puzzle game that's different enough from the usual fare to be vaguely interesting, is fairly easy to pick up and play, and can get challenging as you progress farther. Is it the best use of Yoshi? Probably not. But boy, those eggs sure look damn tasty, and I haven't eaten yet, so probably get some lunch right about now. Okay, bye.
Fucking roll!